Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all well. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make one of these 3D beaded cubes using just seed beads, so Delica beads and size 15 seed beads, and it's solid. There's nothing in the centre, it's just completely made out of beads. And today I'm going to be showing you how to make just the cube, and then in the next video I'm going to show you how to assemble them into my infinity cubes that I created. So I'll insert a video of what those look like now. So this is what the infinity cubes look like. It's just a fidget toy and they just turn lots of different ways. It's really fun to play with. So I'll be showing you that in the next video. But today we're just going to make the cube. So for part one of this video, you're going to need some size 11 Delica seed beads. This is the one I'm using in this video. So I'm going to show you how to do the single colour, and then afterwards you can play around with different patterns once you know how to do it. You'll also need some size 15 seed beads. You'll need your thread. I'm going to use £6 crystal fireline for this. It holds the shape really well. And you'll need one piece that is 20 inches long and 5 pieces of thread that are 16 inches long. So you can pause that if you need to. So you'll also need a beading needle. This is a size 12 beading needle, and that's it. So let's get started. So begin by threading your needle onto any one of those pieces of thread. It doesn't matter which one. And then you're going to pick up 4 of your size 11 Delica beads and slide those down until they are about 3.5 inches from the end of your thread, and then you're going to sew back up through the first bead. And do you like how I matched my nails unintentionally to the colour of the beads that I was using? So pull that through and you should have this. So then picking up one, coming out of the one on the bottom and going straight up through this one on the side. Picking up another one, coming out of the one on the side and going straight through the next one on the top. Picking up another one, coming out of the one on the top and this time going down through the next one on the side. And picking up one more for this row, coming out of here, going through the one on the bottom and up through the next one, which was that first one we added in this row, like that. Pull that through and pull it nice and tight and you should have this. Now we're going to pick up 2, and coming out of this one here on this corner you're going to skip over one and go through the one on the next corner. Again picking up 2, we're coming out up here, we're going to skip over one and go through the next one on the corner. Again picking up 2 and doing that again. So coming out here, skipping over one and going through the next one on the corner. And the last 2 of this row, pick up 2, coming out here, skip over one through the next one. Like that. And then pull that through, and then you also want to move up through one of those next green beads above, just through the first one. So you should be coming out here out the middle of that group of 2, and then you're going to pick up 2. And coming out of this one, you're going to go straight down through the next one. Just make sure those beads stack nicely and don't get twisted. And then picking up 1 this time, you're going to come out here, skip over that one underneath and go through the next one. So you're between the next group of 2. And then you're going to pick up 2. And coming out of here, go straight down through the next bead. And when you pull that through again, just make sure those 2 beads sit nice and flat and that they don't get twisted, like that. Then picking up 1, coming out of here, skipping over one and going through the next one. So you're down the centre of that third group of 2. Then picking up 2 and coming out of this bead, go straight down through the next one. Then picking up 1, coming out here, skipping over one through the next one. Then picking up 2 and going straight down through the next bead. then picking up one, and it's the last bead of the row. We're skipping over that one in the middle there, going through the next two, so up through those two. Pull it nice and tight so that bead pops into place, and you should have this. From here you're going to pick up a 2, and coming out of this one you're going to go straight down through the one next to it. Pull that through, make sure they stack nicely on top of the row below, then picking up one, skipping over one and going through that one in the middle of that side, then picking up one, skipping over one and going into that first bead in that next corner, then picking up 2 and going straight down through the next bead. Picking up 1, skipping over one and going through that one in the middle, and picking up 1, skipping over one and going through that first one in the next corner. So we have this, now picking up 2 again and going straight down through the next bead, so coming out here and straight down through the next one. And then picking up 1, skipping over one and through that bead in the middle of that side. And then picking up 1, skipping over one and going through that next bead on the corner, the first bead on that next corner. It's a little bit tight, but as long as you pull it tight, the bead will pop into place where it's supposed to go. Then picking up 2 and going straight down through the next bead. Then moving on to filling in that final side, so picking up 1, skip over one, going through that one in the middle, pull it tight until it pops into place, and then picking up 1. So this is where you can go wrong. You don't want to go straight into that top bead on the corner, because that's like the next row. That's the row we just added. So we're not working on that row. We're working with the row underneath still. So skip over one, go through the next one and the one above. So through those top 2 beads on that corner, because it's the last bead of the row. So just make sure that bead pops into place and you should have this. So now you need to take your needle off of your working thread and go ahead and thread it onto the short little 3.5 inch tail thread that we've got left, and we're going to tie off that thread so that it's out of the way for when we join it all together later. So once you've threaded your needle onto it, you can move through a couple of beads. It doesn't matter where you tie your knots. I just sort of move up towards one of the corners. So wherever you are, to tie the knot, you're going to take your needle and move your needle under the threads that connect the bead that you're coming out of to the next one. So my needle's gone under those threads, like that. Pull it through and then go through that loop that you've created from bottom through to the top twice. Pull that really tight and then move your needle through a few beads away from your knot before you cut your thread. Pull it really tight, making sure that the knot is tightening, and then you can take the needle off and cut the thread. But make sure you leave your working thread attached, only cut off your tail thread. So now what you need to do is go back to the start of the video, and with your other 5 pieces of thread, you need to make 5 more of these up to this point, and then I'll show you what to do next and how to join them all together. So go ahead and make 5 more of these and I'll meet you back. Okay, so I've got all 6 of my little squares now. Now what you need to do is find the one that's got the longest working thread left. So you had that one piece of thread that was 20 inches. So you need to go ahead and find that just by putting them together and figuring out which has got the longest thread. And once you've got that one, you want to put that one to the side. We're going to use that one last. So just keep that out of the way so you don't get it mixed up. And then taking any one of the others, doesn't matter which one, you're going to thread your needle onto that working thread that you've still got attached. So it's threaded on, and then so you should be coming out of any one of these in this bead here in the corner, but you need to move through one more. So just move through one bead so that you're coming out of the corner bead but at the start of one of the sides. And then you're going to pick up one size 15 seed bead and go through that next size 11. So you've got the two that are sticking out, they're the two you're going through that next size 11. And then one of your size 11 delica beads and going through that next size 11 on that side. And then one size 15 bead into that next one on the corner. And then we're not going to add any beads on the corner. So without picking up a bead, I'm just going to move straight down through the next bead. So we're ready on the next side. So then picking up a 15 and going into that next size 11. Picking up an 11 and then a 15 and going into that one on the corner. Again, not picking up a bead, moving straight through the next bead, and then you're going to go ahead and add two more sides exactly the same, and I'll meet you back there. So then you should have this and you're on this corner, and we're going to tie a knot. So taking my needle under those threads like we did before, pulling it down and going through that loop twice, and then pulling it tight, moving my needle away, and then cutting off that thread, because we're all done with that one now. So just make sure you move away from your knot before you cut it. So then that's your first one all finished. So the next one, you're going to thread your needle onto your next square, doesn't matter which one. And on this square, we're going to add 3 extra sides instead of all 4. So I've threaded my needle onto it. Before you start on each one, just make sure you move through that one bead so you're in the right position. And then same thing again, 15, 11, 15 on each side, but we're nothing on the corners. And we're just adding 3 extra sides. So here, here, and here. And then I'll meet you back around here and I'll show you how to join it to the other one. So you've added your 3 extra sides, so you should have this, so here, here and here. Now we're going to join it onto that other square that we've already added the 4 sides onto. So here I've just moved through one more bead, again, so that I'm coming out here ready to start the next side. And then picking up that other one, you can kind of see where they're going to zip together. So we're going to share the size 15s from that one. So holding them together like this, I'm coming out here of that corner bead. I'm going to go into the first size 15 bead on that back square. So I'm there. Now back into this front square, into that next size 11. Like that. So you can see it's kind of diagonally the next one along. Now into the back piece again through that middle size 11. Now back into the front piece, diagonally moving along one through that next size 11 on the front, and then into the next size 15 on the back piece. And then finally into the next size 11 on the front, which is actually the corner going into the corner. Open it out and then pull it nice and tight. And then we're going to tie a knot here on the corner like we did before. So I've cut those threads off and threaded my needle onto the next square. And this time we're going to do the same thing again, adding 3 extra rows, and we're going to join it with the 4th. So go ahead and add 3 extra sides. So you have this. And then moving needle through one again, so we're ready to join it. And joining onto this end, so we're making like a little row of squares. You're going to zip it up in the same way, so I'm holding those two together. I'm coming out of this one here, and we're going to zip through the size 15 on the back, the next size 11 on the front, through that next size 11 on the back and the next size 11 on the front, through the size 15 on the back and into that next size 11 on the front, going into that corner. Open it out, pull it tight, and you can tie off this thread now in the same way. So then thread your needle onto your next square, moving through that one bead as always, so you're ready to add the extra sides. And same thing again, size 15, 11, 15. This time we're just going to add one extra row. So we have this. Now, this is going to join and share 3 sides. So if you just fold your piece up like this and hold that one in place. So you've got the 3 sides here that are going to join your 3 sides that haven't had that extra row of beads, if you see what I mean. So holding it flat like this, so make sure yours is in the same position. So I've got my square with the extra row along the top here and then the 3 sides there. So joining it first to this top square in the same way again as always. So zip it up like we usually do. So you have this, and then you just need to move through one bead on that square that you're working on so that you're coming out of the corner bead and you're ready to zip up that next side. So you're there. Now you're just sort of going to fold it round, so round and down. So those 2 sides that haven't got the extra rows meet the sides that have. So then go ahead and zip up this one the same way as we always do. And then move through that one extra bead, so you're coming out of the start of that last remaining side that hasn't got the extra row, and then you're just going to fold up that end square to meet like that, and that's where you're going to zip up. So zip up that one in the same way we have done before. So then you should have this. Let's get in there now, and now you can just tie off that thread. Thread your needle onto this next one, and again you're just going to add the one extra side onto this piece the same way we did last time. So you have this. Now you're going to position it where it's going to sit, so that one extra side that you've added is going to sit along the top, and the 3 sides that haven't got the extra row added are going to slot in to those 3 that already have on the main piece, like that. So we're first of all going to zip up, starting from where your thread's coming out of, join it up to that side, and we're going to zip up these 2 sides together. So zipping up down here like in the same way we did before, and then along here and then up here. So then once you've zipped all of those up, you should have this, and we've just got one remaining square to add on the top. So I've tied off all those threads as well, by the way, tied a knot and cut off those threads, and threaded my needle onto that last remaining square that had the long piece of thread left. So just moving through one bead so that we're at the start of the side, and this time we're not adding any extra sides, we're just zipping up straight away. Doesn't matter which side you start with on this cube because they're all the same. So just start by zipping up along here in the same way as always, and then moving around, doing the same on all 4 sides until it's all closed up. It can get a little bit fiddly and hard to hold, but then once you've done that, you should have this, and you should have your working thread still attached. I'm going to leave mine attached because, like I said earlier, I'm going to be showing you in the next video how to join them all together to make the infinity cubes, but if you're just making a cube for whatever reason, then you're all done and you can tie your threads off. But this is what they all look like, so you can play around with patterns now you know how to make the cube, and I'll show you how to make the infinity cubes in the next video, so stay tuned for that. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Bye!